Good evening, everyone. Marhaba, welcome. Good afternoon if you're joining from some different time zone. We welcome you all to be on time with us to this PMI UAE chapter webinar series with me. I really see a good amount of crowd coming in, joining on time. So really thankful for all of you to come and really appreciate your attendance and engagement, which we are going to see further down the line. My name is Anshul Chaubey and I'm your host and moderator for tonight for the webinar. And of course, we are looking for an extraordinary session once again, especially when we're talking about something which is very common and near to the people, Agile today. And that's what we are going to look at. More importantly, we are joined by team member from Joyce and Amir with me from the back end, who are helping me out in this webinar from the platform perspective. It's my absolute pleasure to all of you to connect in this global community of experienced project professional and to represent PMI UAE chapter as a part of my endeavor over here. As you might be knowing and be aware about, if you have been attending this webinar series, we keep on doing every month, almost 2 times a bit, but depending on the spacing of the holidays and all. But the idea is that we can bring the right amount of value and right quality stuff to you all people. And the idea of the webinar is just to create that kind of space where we can have ideas meeting the actions and experience meeting the inspirations. So with that, I think that's very important to know that learning never stops and learning will get much more interesting if we engage with the learning. So I would encourage all of you to start engaging with each other, introduce yourself, make best use of networking in the chat, introduce your industry, where you come from, and then of course, which particular sector you belong to, if in that matter it helps. So that's what we are looking forward to have a very good and engaging session once again. Before we are going to dive in, I see that how many people are coming in yet. Okay, so we are 60 people around that. So before we dive in, I will take a pause to just let everybody know what is the format of the webinar. And the webinar will last somewhere around 1 hour and 10 minutes. We will try to finish on time. And of course, the topic for today, as you must have already been enrolled while registering yourself, is Agile dead? Now, that's really a scary situation. Is Agile dead or still alive? Or it is a partially alive situation? Whatever it is, we'll come to know today, more importantly. But it will be discussed by our esteemed speaker, Mr. Shrivastava, with us. And he is joining us. Hello, sir. How are you doing? I believe that you can hear me. You're on the mute, sir. You have to unmute yourself.
Yes, I can hear you.
Here you go. Thank you so much for joining us, Insan, and you're joining us from United States, not United Arab Emirates, but yeah, very different time zone. So we appreciate your time, we appreciate your attendance with us, and we're looking forward to discuss the things with you. But before I hand it over to you, my name is Anchal, and I'm your host and moderator tonight. And what idea is that in this webinar series, we just not promise the insight, but also this particular expert viewpoint perspective from you, Mr. Shrivastava, on the agile mindset and methodology and the current situation, what we are living in from that perspective. So I will start with something like the format of the webinar is somewhere around 1 hour, 10 minutes, but I will start with the PMI UA chapter introduction series, sharing some slides about chapter introduction. And then, of course, I will introduce our kind speaker, Mr. Narendra, to the audience. And from there, I will hand it over the mic to you, and the stage will be yours to take over the audience. And audience is, of course, they can feel free to ask the questions in the Q&A section part of it. And I will definitely try to get all of answers in the time limit with Mr. Narendra at the end of the session regarding any of the content or any of the viewpoints, what you have on that. So with that in mind, let me share my screen first quickly to share you about the chapter information. And that will lead us to the next part of the webinar. So let me share my quickly with the screen here and just a second. Yeah, here you go. So we are, of course, coming from Project Management Institute, which is the part of the, sorry, give me a minute. Yeah, which is the part of the 1969 founded organization from the perspective of project management as a field, as a function. And even after 50 years now, PMI is still running strong in the source and resource for all the things around project management as a fraternity. It is one of the largest professional organizations in the world. And of course, it has globally recognized standard credentials, which all of us are aware, and some of us already been certified in those. We offer training, accreditation, and the community exercises. Of course, there is a sponsorships and publishing research, and thought leadership is also the part of the PMI as a part of organization in itself. We are the part of the PMI, and we represent the UAE chapter with the vision which goes with empowering and influence all of you individual with the innovative project economy principles and turning their ideas into the reality. To go with that, the mission statement will say to disrupt and create value and value driven opportunities to all our members like you and the partners to become agile. Of course, that is our topic today again, and innovative, productive in the platform for the growth of project economy. Now, coming to chapter situation over here, we're proud to say that we are 100% run by all volunteers, okay, and 4,000 plus active members in the chapter now. We are ranked among the top 5 in the EMA region. And then our focus is to bring the right industry top trends to all of you. We are serving the UAE community as a part of project managers. And of course, we are seeking the project management capability and offerings to believe that the importance of this function is quite crucial for everybody, not in a particular field, but anybody who want to become aspiring project professional in any form. We depend on you to make our chapter as much invigorating, as much engaging with all of the inputs what you keep feeding to us in different shapes and form through the different social media channels. The chapter is being led by Mr. Adil Sultan as a president and rest of the board of directors who is helping him from all the different corners of the sections. Some benefits of the chapter, definitely chapter has networking opportunities, learning and knowledge sharing, mentoring program, which we are starting around, career growth and events. This particular webinar is the part of diversified event into the webinar section there. Webinar is going to fetch you 2 PDUs. And of course, the PDUs are getting registered at the back end, and the membership team take care of the PDU allocation directly to your PMI account. If you have any issues around that, definitely feel free to message out to any one of us in the WhatsApp group, or you can write to us in the different emails which we have already created for it. But also, we have the member corner spotlight section. If you want to participate and introduce yourself with your contribution, your knowledge, thought, leadership, please put an email to newsletters@pmiuae.org. If you want to gather more information about the chapter, definitely you're welcome to connect with us in any of the social media platforms and channels. We will look it everywhere, starting from the YouTube, where you see all the previous webinar videos uploaded and recorded. Even this one would be there. So definitely feel free to engage with us in the particular queries. If you have, go and check out this different email. And of course, we have a website with the www.pmiuae.org over there. I think that is enough of the information about the chapter with all of us. Now, what takes me back to the particular topic here is interesting fact of the perspective I would like to share before I introduce Mr. Narendra Shrivastava over here. I was reading about some interesting things about Agile while just thinking about the topic, and I just found few I'd like to share with all of you. Research shows 2 different facts, and 47% of the one of the research respondents from different state of Agile reports have identified actually there is a general resistance in the organizational change or culture clash as one of the primary reason as a barrier to Agile adoption. This is coming from the ResearchGate, and that also connects to our topic. Is Agile failing? Is Agile dying? Are the organizations failing Agile? Same thing, research also shows that 68% of the Agile transformation initiatives fail due to organizational resistance and culture again. So I think that itself is an alarming question here, that is it really Agile's mindset, Agile theory, Agile methodology, Agile tooling, or is it really a traditional corporate structure is killing it? Or is it really something else happening? Of course, we have our expert in with us, Mr. Shrivastava. He will going to share his perspective. I would definitely like to hear from himself as well. Without wasting too much of time, it's my honor to introduce Mr. Narendra with us. He's the CEO of Refine M, and he's himself is Agile coach. and he is been doing this work past 30 years in his career, and he has been the speaker, he has been the entrepreneur, and he has been definitely speaking in a lot of the PMI global conferences himself. So let's hear him out himself, that what is his viewpoint, what he want to share with us, and why about Agile today. Over to you, sir.
Very good. Very good. So, Anchal and everybody, can you hear me well?
100% well. Go ahead, sir.
All right. So, let me go ahead and share my deck over here. Okay. So, it does not allow me to share the sound.
Oh, do you have any video or clip?
Yeah.
Oh, you have it.
Yeah.
So just a second. Let me just see if you have the option. Do you get any? Okay, yeah, you are right. I also indeed doesn't have that option to share the sound from my end as well when I share my screen.
Yeah.
So is that something I will check with Amir? Meanwhile, you can start. Let
Okay.
me check with Amir at the back end and come back meanwhile.
Okay. All right. So I will share without it. When we reach the video, we will check it again. And if not, we'll skip the video and
No problem. Let me
we'll
check.
move on.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So let me go and share the video. Sorry, my slide deck over here. Can you see my slide deck? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So welcome everyone to this webinar. I'm very excited about it to um, share my thoughts, my experiences about Agile in general, and also as you heard Anchal talking about, what is happening to Agile these days. I have been in the Agile world since 2002. Um, so, the manifesto was written in 2001 or something like that. So since then, I have been uh, working using Agile, different frameworks, principles, practices. And also from 2012 onwards, I have been coaching. I have been a coach and I have been coaching. I would have coached so far more than 400 teams and more than 7,000 people on adopting Agile, working in large companies like IBM, and through IBM to their big clients like big banks, State Street Bank and the Honda Motors, Walgreen, Walmart, Kaiser Permanente, AT&T. All those names. So I have been involved in educating those organizations along with IBM to implement Agile. And for last couple of years, um, there has been a little kind of decline. And so people wonder, what is happening? What is going on? So, what is the future for Scrum Masters, product owners, Agile coaches, and all those roles that were, that were that came up, and people learned those skills, people had those certifications. What's going to happen to those? So that's a normal lot of discussions happening in different platforms, different conferences. If you go to LinkedIn, if you go to any other platforms, that is what the conversation is happening. So I created this webinar maybe 5-6 months ago, and I put together some data and also some research that I did, and also my own experience as of today. So let's get started, and feel free to put your questions in the chat. Somebody may be monitoring the questions, so we'll answer those questions at the end. All right. Okay, so let's move on. So this is a little agenda that I'll be following through. Uh, so uh, so let's see, with this webinar at the end of probably an hour or so, what you will learn. You will learn what is the current state of Agile, all the questions that we have been talking about, right? Whether it is live or dead, and how to improve your Agile implementation. So That's what we'll be talking about, and that's what you will learn with this webinar. And a little bit more background about me. I am CEO and Enterprise Agile Coach Refinem since 2011. This is the company that I started after spending maybe about 25, 30 years in project management and Agile world, working in different companies. My last role was a vice president in a custom software development company in US, and I was in that position for 4 or 5 years. And then I was thinking about what to do, what's the next thing for me. So I could have dropped that company, went to some other company, joined as director or VP or something like that. But then I thought, okay, if I do that, then probably I will be restricted to that company only. But I wanted to go ahead and explore what people do and how can I help those people. So I started my own uh, consulting and training company on project management and Agile, and I have been doing that since 2011. It has been a very rewarding experience, and I don't have to look back now. So it's a perfect kind of a career for me, and I keep doing that. I am from India. I was born in Meerut. There is a small town in North India. Maybe many of you may know about it. In US, I live in a town called as Cary. It's in North Carolina state, where I live with my wife and kids. So little more about myself. Okay, and the latest you are hearing Gen AI. That's I wanted to just talk to you about Gen AI. So we have been moving towards Gen AI, trying to spread word about Gen AI, and trying to help um, project management teams, agile teams, and those professionals how to use Gen AI. That's the next step that is happening in this world. So we have created a 2-day workshop for POs and PMs. And also, I am doing a volunteer work myself, leading a what I call as AI POC group. And there are project managers from all over the world that are participating in this initiative. So I have 12 project managers that are participating in this group. And what we are doing is we are identifying use cases in project management for AI, and then actually implementing those use cases and creating what we call as proof of concepts. So far we have done the team has done 5 proof of concept in using different use cases in projectmanagement.com. So earned value and project status reporting, we also delivered webinars at projectmanagement.com. So I do it almost a couple of times in a quarter. I deliver webinars at projectmanagement.com. So if you go at projectmanagement.com, you can find my webinars in the recording. And we are going to do risk management and writing charter using AI and CPM AI very soon. And then there are other project POCs that are in progress. And so if anybody wants to join this volunteer group, digging deeper into AI, if you are in the Agile team, how you can implement AI in those Agile teams. And then there are a couple of tools. I'm not going to that. So this is what is coming up on projectmanagement.com. You are all PMI members. It is free for you. So you can join, and we'll talk about how you write project charter using Gen AI at Project Manage on December 19, which is not too far. Okay, so this is something I use called chatterfall. Okay, this is a technique that I use called as chatterfall. So how this goes, how this game goes, and this is good for, but when you are in a virtual setting. So the question is Agile dead? That's the question. And what I would like you to respond in the chat, what do you think in just few words or a line, but you're not going to hit your submit or enter. Okay, you just think about it, write it, but don't hit enter. You will hit enter when I say hit. Okay, So think about this for a maybe few seconds, and write your answers, but don't hit submit or enter. So what do you think? Is Agile dead? So 15 more seconds I'll give you. Okay. Think about it, but not a whole paragraph, but um, you know, but just okay. Is everyone ready? Please press your submit or okay. No, alive is okay. Alive. Uh, no, 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 no. Alive. Agile is alive. Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. Alive. Yes, it depends. Okay. That also always a good answer. Reality. Okay. So by doing this, you can see the range of responses. You can see the range of responses. Um, so some people are feeling that it's no more, it's dead. Some are saying, no, it is not dead. Some is saying it is still active. Agile is alive, mostly in IT industry and all that kind of thing. So you can see the range of responses. Okay. Somebody said we should think hybrid. That's a very good thing. Mindset cannot die. Good one. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Let's move on. So there's another remote engaging tool that I use for these kind of webinars, which is called as Mentimeter. Okay. So we'll go there, and then I want you to respond to this question. What are your expectations from this webinar? I will tell you how to do that. Let me go there. Okay, so you see my screen. What are your expectations from this? So go to menti.com. There are so many people here, more than 100. Okay. So go to menti.com, and then you will be prompted for a code 219918898. So if you enter that code, this question will come in front of you. Okay. And then you can answer. So menti.com and then this code. If you can answer this question, what do you expect from this webinar? Of course, many responses will be, I need PDUs. Okay. that many times. So avoid that. I know everybody will get a PDU, and the UA chapter will facilitate that for you. Okay. But other than that, what are your expectations from this webinar? Yeah, and keep that app active, because we'll use it multiple times in this webinar. Okay, to know about agile market situation. Okay, agile mindset. Okay, okay, very good. Okay, do we need agile? Well, that's a good question, and you should get answer for that. Very good. Listen to the other pro. Okay, very good. Real life world example. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, okay. Wow, okay. Agile details, agile teams. Still somebody put PDUs. I think we are very tied up with PDUs. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Agile life. Okay, very good, very good. Yeah, so I think I get an idea. I get an idea from this, that what you want to learn, and uh, I hope that what I have to say in next 30-40 minutes, you should be able to get the answers for the question or your expectation, what you have from this webinar. Okay, so now we go to the other question for you. What are your thoughts on the current state of Agile. Don't write long sentences, maybe 2-3 words. That should be good. If you can write in 1 or 2 words, that may be even better. So what are your thoughts on current state of Agile? What do you think where we are on Agile? You might have heard a lot, not effective, change to AI. Okay. All right. Pending updates. I don't understand. Too many framework monk. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think this is one reason too many framework mongers. Somebody wrote this. Yeah. This has been one of the major issues. And uh, in my experience, lot of large companies, consulting companies, they came and actually recommended or forced organizations to adopt a particular framework without understanding their needs. And that's why that thing failed, and without focusing on basics of Agile. So that's my understanding, understanding the culture, the organization structure, the bureaucracy, and all those kind of things. They did not pay much attention on that. uh, Agile is making ways to different industry. Okay, dinosaurs are in okay, very good. Uh, Too many people don't understand it. I think that's very true. That's very true. Uh, we will get comfort from long-term plan. Yeah, that is true, because if it is not, if you're saying, okay, I'm not able to give you a long-term plan, then say, okay, I don't know what you're going to do, or I don't know what I'm going to get. So that also is some of the Agile, um, Scrum masters and Agile coaches and Agile practitioners, they say, okay, we cannot give you a long plan, which is not right. Which is not right, because that's what is the stakeholders or the sponsors or customers would like to see a long-term plan. When you will be done with this project, right? And the answer is, oh, we'll do 2 weeks sprint, and we'll be done whenever we'll be done. So that is one big issue. Okay. Currently use fragile. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think you got again, this is a wide spectrum of thoughts over here. Okay. So maybe at the end of webinar, we'll try to summarize this all right. Let's move on. So now let's talk more about what is the current state of Agile. You had mentioned your thoughts, your ideas. Let's talk about a little bit more, take a deeper dive with some data. Okay. So this is where my video is. Achal, is it possible to share the video, because otherwise audio will not come?
Yeah, hello, sir. Can you hear me out?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So actually, yeah, there is something which we can try, but for
Okay.
that, I'm chasing my friend to change it from the admin side of the thing. I found out
Oh,
how to do it, but I don't have rights myself, so I have to get it done
oh,
through
okay.
him.
All right. So
So
we'll
unfortunately, not
we'll
at the
yeah.
moment.
That's okay. That's okay. So if you go to my YouTube, you will find this video, and I recorded this video probably about 10 years ago. Okay, when I was doing agile coaching. So I'll give you a summary of this video, since we cannot play the video. So what is agile? So if you many people ask what is agile. So in my opinion, agile is a capability. Okay, that's the first thing. Agile is a capability to respond to changes. So in today's fast changing business environment, so Agile is not about tools or frameworks and all those kind of things. Uh, it's the capability developed with a mindset. So people talk about mindset also, right? But with that, how do you see that mindset in action or in reality? How do you see that? Okay, I have an agile mindset. What does that mean? How does this translate to something tangible? Something that people can say, yeah, 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 I can see how agile you are. But how do you implement that mindset? Is by building this capability and demonstrating this capability. So you know that it 10, 12 years ago, the world was changing very fast. It's changing today also faster, even faster. Okay. So changes happen. Changes happen. So you cannot tell me a project that you did, even if it was 3 or 4 or 6 months long, even a short project, that there was no change. Other than if you are like building a road, you know, or building a 10-story building. You cannot all of a sudden say, I need 12 stories after you've done 3 or 4 stories. Or so those are some of the situations where changes will be less or no. But mostly if we talk about the other industries, IT and healthcare and banks and insurance and all those kind of things. First of all these businesses are driven by software, driven by IT. So there is hardly any business that doesn't use IT at the back end. So if it is an insurance company and they are issuing policies, they do it through a application. Either they have purchased an application and implemented it, or they have developed it in-house. Similarly, banks, similarly, healthcare. Pick any industry. The behind the scene, the software or IT is so integral for the business that you cannot avoid it. So basically, when you talk about software development, then changes play a very big role. Okay, so to be able to respond to changes, we have been, in the waterfall world, we do the change control board and change management system. We all know about that, but you know how slow and bureaucratic that is. Sometimes you have a change, you say, okay, by the time I go through this whole change process, I can just go and do it, right? How many times you have seen it? I have seen it multiple times. So a team's capability to respond to the changes that are coming up, that capability is about saying agile. So agile is a capability, not a tool, not a framework, not even a mindset. But because just with a mindset, you cannot do anything. You have to translate. Similar to like this is a mindset and principles. So principle cannot be shown or demonstrated without being real. Okay, I'll give you an example. So principle for different societies is that you respect elders. That's the principle, or even a mindset, you can say. How do you show that respect? How do you show that respect? Right? To show that respect, there are different ways in different parts of the world. I come from India, so in India you touch elders' feet. That's how you show respect. And then if you go to other places, how do you show respect? So in the US, how you show respect is basically listening to them, following with them. Normally people don't touch feet here in the US, but that's a different society, different culture, different way the people are brought up. So but that's a principle, that's the implementation. So having an agile mindset means you are willing to accept changes. You are not tied up with a scope and then say, okay, if it has to change, it has to. That's the core part of the video, and it's probably 4 minutes. I have spoken more than 4 minutes, so I think that's okay. All right. So there's another YouTube on the current state of agile, and this is I cannot again show it to you. I had a couple of videos. I wish we had the video capability, but I cannot show this to you, and you cannot hear this, unfortunately. Okay, so current state of agile, agile is dead or not. So under this video is basically they are talking about the agile is still there. It's not fully dead. Okay, so it's not dead, but it has taken a different shape. Okay, it has taken a different shape, and we'll talk about what shape it has taken, and we'll move forward.
And so there's been a lot of discussion
So
about
this you'll not hear
Agile.
that. You cannot hear the voice, right?
We can hear, sir. Did you play
Oh,
it?
great. Wonderful. Wonderful. If you can hear, then let's play this.
Dead, what's your take? Do you think Agile is dying, or is it evolving into something new?
Yeah, so I would say that we've definitely moved on from capital A Agile, but like that agility that organizations have been on the journey of for the last 15, 20 years or longer, it's still a core need of organizations today. So it's just evolved to address the modern challenges that everyone's facing. That was very much a different time back then. We've been talking to leaders about the importance of being a dynamically adaptable organization. So it's kind of a different lens, but you have different requirements now that these organizations need to adhere to, and the environment's drastically changed.
Okay, so that was something that he was talking about.
So there's been a lot of discussion.
So there's another one here. You may know this person.
I've always said I wanted Scrum and Agile to go away. Is that happening? I don't think a week passes that I don't see a video or article about their deaths. Within a few years of the Agile Manifesto being written, I began to say I wanted Agile to go away. I didn't mean I wanted us to stop using Agile, rather I wanted Agile to win. I want Agile to become so much the accepted approach to product development, or to teamwork in general, that we can stop talking about it. Instead of saying Agile software development, for example, I could just say software development. And the assumption would be that, of course, that meant Agile software development. To some extent, we're there. When Scrum emerged as the original Agile framework in the mid-1990s, cross-functional teams were not common. They are now. Software development back then was done in phases, typically an analysis phase followed by a design, coding, and testing phase. Heavy-duty pixel-perfect prototypes were common back then due to the high cost of iterating over a design. While prototypes are still used today, multiple quick prototypes are now common to help product owners and managers choose between options. Before the advent of Agile, organizations thought they could add quality to a product by testing quality in at the end. Agile has helped us see that isn't possible. Barry Beam's spiral model in 1986 and Tom Gilb's evolutionary delivery in 1988 started a shift to iterative incremental development. But that shift accelerated dramatically after the manifesto in 2001. Recent videos, articles, and podcasts saying Agile is dead are not saying we need to reverse the improvements Agile initiated or accelerated. I haven't seen anything advocating a return to waterfall development, or more accurately, to the ad hoc development practices that were more common before Agile. Instead, the Agile is Dead articles more closely mimic my long-held view that we can eventually stop talking about Agile teams, Agile development, Agile frameworks, and more. Those terms will just become teams, development, and frameworks. So are Agile and Scrum dead? I don't think so. I think there's still plenty of work ahead. It's why my company has been focusing more attention toward whole team training. Some of the Agile and Scrum fatigue I sense today is analogous to what happens in the music industry. Fans who love an artist's first few albums often sour on that artist when they're discovered by the masses. The artist is no longer the hip new thing, and many early fans move on because of that. I'll be happy when Agile wins, when we can drop it as an adjective in front of so many terms. Until then, I will remain dedicated to helping teams succeed, whether we call it Agile or not. If this video has been useful, please click the like button. And if you're new to the channel, click subscribe. I've always said...
Okay, so you had two videos talk about that. So I think the last one, I like the later one, because it talks about how Agile got integrated into whatever you do, product development or projects or whatever you do, and nobody is going back to waterfall. Have you seen any team going back to waterfall? So the Agile is getting more and more integrated. It's getting so much integrated that you don't talk about Agile. That's what I think, that's what he was talking about. So that's what is happening. I am also seeing that it's getting more and more integrated, and how it is getting integrated, we'll talk about later in this presentation. Okay, so there's some statistics here. Okay, so according to latest State of Agile report, and you can find it, Agile has declined 59% to 71%, and safe implementations are down from 26% to down from 53 to 26%. So specifically talking about Agile, specifically talking about safe, that is showing a kind of decline. So many thought leaders, they are asking about Agile is dead. That's what we and here are some of the charts that you can see, the Agile satisfaction survey and the safe adoption from 2021 onwards, 2021, 2022, and 2020, 2023. So you can say it went up in 2022 and then it went down in 2023. And you can get, here are the references here. So I'm not talking about in the air, I got it from somewhere. And normally when I when I present any data or anything like that, I will provide you the reference where from I got that data. So you can go and check that out yourself. Okay, so let's move on. So what some of the things that, what is driving this shift? We know there are a lot of layoffs in industries, particularly in the US for last, I remember the first big layoff happened in December 2022. I don't know if how it is in UAE or that part of the world, but there were layoffs. Almost every company laid off people. In that, I believe there were more than 1,000 or 100,000 people, or no more than, I think 400,000-500,000 people were laid off all across the industry in the first 6 months of 2023. So that is, and many companies. I remember one company where they said they are stopping their investment in Agile, and they laid off a lot of people who in the roles of Scrum Master and Agile coaches, product owners, and all those kind of things. So this is what happened in the industry, and the organization started shifting to hybrid, and that is what has happened. So somebody was talking about hybrid in that chat conversation. And that is what has started happening. So when you say hybrid, what does that mean? That means that somehow you are integrating Agile principles, Agile practices, maybe some framework in a different way, not as is, but in a different way. So you are integrating the conventional with the Agile things, and that's what is making it hybrid. And that shift really started in kind of 2020 or even before. And you can see in the PMI report that I don't have that chart here, but that came maybe last year, where they were plotting adoption of waterfall and Agile and hybrid. So adoption of waterfall was falling continuously. Adoption of Agile was going up until about 2023, and then it started falling, and hybrid started picking up from 2023 beyond. So that is what is happening, that the organization are shifting towards hybrid. And what you saw in the video is that it became the part of the project. It's nothing a new thing. You're not doing and taking your organization and implementing Agile, particularly those frameworks like Scrum or Safe or Kanban or whatever. So that's what you are not doing. You are integrating that. And also organizations are integrating Agile into their work, not calling it Agile as much. So they are integrating it, but not calling it Agile as much, because that has become part and parcel of the regular work. Many teams, without saying we are Agile, they do stand-ups. They do retrospectives. They do check with the with their customers, do the reviews kind of thing. They may not do it every 2 weeks, but they are doing it more frequently than what they were doing in the waterfall. They are doing it more frequently. So that's the agile mindset. That's some of the practices. You are basically modifying them and making it suitable for your project or an organization and implementing it. So that is what gave rise to what people started calling hybrid. So what is the impact of all this onto Scrum Master and coaches? So organizations are less sure about how to evaluate their impact. Okay, and many coaches cite executive management resistance and difficulty changing the culture or mindset. Those are the kind of thing. I've talked to different agile coaches, and I go in conferences, talk to people, and that's what I observed. And there's some more finding. There is not enough leadership or participation that is declining because of multiple reasons. And also, the smaller companies have more success in implementing agile rather than the large companies. And the larger the company, it is more difficult to change the culture. It's more difficult to change the culture. And in my experience, what I have seen working with small, large, and medium-sized companies, what I have seen is that the top executive level, C level, they want to implement agile because they want to respond to the changes in the industry and changes to their market. The teams level, they also want to do that because that gives them empowerment, that gives them freedom, and that gives them all that. It's the middle layer that they don't know what to do. They feel that all the control that they had is going to go away. So what they are going to do? And really nobody is helping them how to adapt to the new situation. They can be very valuable. They have to, instead of managing the teams, they should be leading the teams. So instead of looking at people's shoulders every day, what's going on, rather than focus on outcomes. So I think there is a little training and coaching that need to happen in the middle level. And that's not happening in the larger organization because you have that middle level. In the smaller companies, you really don't have a middle level. You are very flat organization and you don't have the middle level. So their success is more in the smaller companies. Okay, so let's talk about, is Agile really dead? So Agile is strayed from its original purpose and no longer has value. There is some argument, but people talk about Agile is dead. There are too many certifications. I agree. There are about 50, 60 different certifications that has actually not created a kind of lot of confusion which certifications I could go and what is useful. And many organizations, because the Agile is not implemented in the right manner, they don't see any value that Agile has produced, or they don't see the speed that was promised by Agile, that they don't see the speed at which the product is rolled out. So Agile is dead, but agility is not dead. So there is a difference between the two. And that's what I have been talking about. That's what you heard in the video. Agility is not dead. So capital A Agile may be on decline. When you say capital Agile, means following the framework, following the roles that are defined, and strictly following the book, without thinking about the principles and practices. So that is that, but Agile and agility are evolving. So people are figuring out how do we bring these principles and practices and implement in our environment. Okay, so that is what is happening. So because of the changes happening faster even, and if you stop my video that I could not display or I could not run, what is Agile is the capability to respond to changes in the fast changing environment. So it is changing faster. Things are happening very, very fast. And for last couple of years, I think many organizations, they are getting more focused how to use AI. It's getting there. How to that's a big change. How to bring about that change. So handling change is still the core part. How do you handle changes that are happening around, changes at the individual level? So think about we as project managers. So one of the questions I have been asked, and you can see also that, is AI going to replace project managers? That's another question that is being asked, right? So my response is that AI is going to replace those project managers who do not know how to use AI. But if a project manager knows how to use AI, and that's about adaptability, learning new things, figuring out how you can use it in projects, that's about the agile mindset. So organization, people, teams, they need agile mindset, and that is much more because of the changes that are happening very fast in our industry. We may not have to run Scrum, we may not have to run Kanban, we may not have to run SAFe, but we need to be able to respond to the changes. So how Agile can continue to thrive? Keep focus on being agile, not doing agile. When you say doing agile, means stuck with those frameworks, stuck with those ceremonies, stuck with those roles. But being agile means having that mindset of responding to the changes and implementing that mindset, building that capability. How can you respond to changes? Now the AI has come. How do you adopt this AI? That's about the agile mindset. It's not AI mindset, it's an agile mindset. Okay? Make sure teams have what they need to succeed. So doing agile versus being agile, make sure teams understand why, not just how. So that's very important. All my coaching, when I go and coach the teams, I do a discovery workshop first. And during the discovery workshop, my question is, why you want to implement agile? Is there a problem that you're trying to solve by implementing agile? And how will you know that you have solved that problem? So those are the basic questions. Why is very important, not how. How doesn't matter, but why is more important. Make sure they understand agile principles and mindset. Okay, and coaches like us still can work there. I'm still coaching agile for a large team in one of the states here, state of Maine in US, and we are implementing agile in a non-software environment, in a enterprise architecture and architecture review board. I don't know if you know about those architecture review boards and all that. So automate or make their process more efficient. So that's what I have been doing for last 6-7 months, and I'm continuing to do that. So still, I think you need to find out your niche and being agile and thinking how agile can be brought into the situation, not asking everybody to use Scrum, not asking everybody to use Kanban, not asking everybody to use SAFe, but trying to really understand how this team can adapt so they can have developed the capability to respond to change. And you support agile team. What do teams need to get their work done? Not talking about Scrum, not talking about that, but what they need. And believe me, the 12 principles of agile, what you have, are very well suited for any team without a framework. Okay, so and servant leadership is critical. Basically, helping people to teams to become empowered is still very, very valid. So I will stop talking here. I've talked a lot. Okay, so let's do a quick quiz, and then I will get back. So 2 winners will get some reward from me. They can write to me and get their reward. But let's go to quiz, and then we'll come to Q&A. Okay, so let's go here, and so there are there are 110 people. I see only 10 players. So I should see at least 30-40% people join to make it more interesting. same menti.com, use the code. So while you join, let me explain you how this quiz works. So there are going to be 5 questions, okay? And you need to respond to each question. And if your answer is correct, you get certain points. And also, somebody who responds faster will get some bonus points, okay? So if you respond right,
Naren sir, can you
yes,
hear me? This is Anshul
yes.
here. There's one thought. Would you mind playing that video which you were not able to play? What is Agile, the capability one? Will that?
Sure, I can finish this and come back to that.
Yeah, that will help.
Okay, I can do it. Sure, I can do that. I can do that. Yeah, okay. So so I see 21 players here. Okay, let's get started. So and maybe 15 more seconds if anybody would like to join. So 5 questions will come one after the other. You answer the questions and then the score will be shown to you in real time. And I don't know if you have done this kind of a quiz or not, but I do this all the times. All right, so I have 24 players. People are joining slow. 25, great. So we have about 25% participation. That's very good. That's very good. So we have 25, 5 seconds last. Okay, all right, let's get started. So answer quickly to get more points. So you did not hear that video, but I explained to you. And I have talked a lot about that. Okay, so it is about capability. Most of you are right. It's not about tools or framework. It's about capability. Okay, so that's how it looks like. Who is reading this? Some hearts? Hearts? Okay. Heartstorm. Okay. All right. So let's move forward and let's go ahead and go to the second question. It's coming up soon. Yeah, if you were very, the question will come from this itself, whatever I showed you. So if you were attentive and you were listening, you were seeing it, you should be able to answer that. Okay, so most of you are still correct. Okay, then let's see what's the score now, and who is still leading. If there is any change. Okay, so Heartstorm is still leading with MI as the next one. So let's go ahead. I'm glad more and more people are joining. So you're getting the third question. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so there are 2, that's right. Those 2 roles. Okay, let's see if MI can overtake more. Yeah, that's overtaken. Very good. Yeah, this also we covered in the presentation. Okay, most of you are right. Small companies, we talked about large companies have difficulties. Okay, so let's see who. There's a race between MI and more. MI is still the fastest. So this is the last question. Let's see if there is any disruption here. Okay, most of you are right here. So let's see who is the winner here. Oh, more, sorry. Okay, so MI and Kira, you are the 2 topmost here. Let's get congratulations. So you can write to me and I will tell me which of these you want to have. Now, Anchal is asking me to go back and run that video. So let me do that. That video was in the beginning somewhere. Yeah, here is the video. Okay, let me run this video. Oops. What's happening? Okay. It's something not right. Let me go to the YouTube and see if we can run it from there.
What is agile?
Can you hear this?
There is a lot of
Yes, we
definitions of
can.
agile.
Okay,
There are a lot
very
of
good.
ways it has been expressed. The way I understand and the way I teach about agile is a capability. It's not a software, it's not a framework, it's not a methodology, it's not a tool. It's a capability to respond to changes in the fast changing business environment. And it's based on 4 values that come from manifesto and 12 principles and several practices. And a subset of these practices may be called Scrum, another subset XP, another subset Kanban, and so on. And you might have heard about these terms, but they are a subset of the practices. Maybe there are more than 20 practices. So Agile is implemented through values, principles, and practices. The key part is it is towards developing this capability. So the organizations that are able to respond to changes quickly are more agile than the other organizations. And why it is needed in today's world? Because our environment is changing. Our environment is changing, the business needs are changing, and they are changing faster and faster and faster. Agile has been there for several years. You know, the manifesto was written in 2001. And it has been, the values and principles and practices have been even before, but it has become more popular. The Agile has become more popular in last maybe 5, 10 years or so. Why? The reason is the pace of change is increasing. So the capability to respond to those changes need to be there. If an organization is not able to respond to changes, they are going to be out of business. They need to understand what are the needs, and the changes may happen because of multiple reasons. It could be technological changes, it could be environmental changes, it could be political changes, whatever, because of which the organizations need to change. And if they are able to change faster, they are able to improve their products and services faster, they are going to survive, they are going to thrive, and at that point of time, we can say they are agile because they are changing faster, they're responding to the changes faster. They're not reacting, they're responding. So this word here, respond, is also important. So they're not reactive, they are ahead of the game, they are not trailing behind. And that's what the agility means, that's what the agile means, a capability based on values, principles, and practices. There are many, many benefits of Agile, and we are going to talk about those benefits in my next week.
Yeah, so there are several videos if you want to go and watch the videos. So there are several videos on my YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and search for Refine M, you can find really about 50, 60 different videos. I have created a lot of contents in last 10, 12 years. And this video was probably recorded, I don't remember the date, but at least 10 years ago. And some of these portions are still very, very relevant as of today. All right. So let's go back to where we were. We finished quiz. So let's go back here. And so the conclusion, Agile is not dead, first of all. That is the thing I would like you to note. But it has certainly changed. Okay, definitely changed. Rigid frameworks have seen higher rate of rejection. That's what you see. People are rejecting SAFe, people are rejecting Scrum. So they are rejecting it. You can see the decline in SAFe. I showed you some numbers over there. While rigid frameworks are being, the overall theme and state of being agile has not gone away and will not go away. So that's the basic thing, is that the overall theme of building the capability to respond to changes. That's not going to go away forever. That's going to be actually needed more and more, because changes are going to be faster and faster and faster. So if you see this chart, I have put this chart again. It's kind of a stabilization. That's what is happening. So there were a lot of expectations, then expectations went down, and now they're settling in. So that is what is happening. So the conclusion is Agile is not dead. It has changed, and the overall theme of a state of being agile is going to be there. It's going to be always there. It will come with different names and all those kind of things, but it's going to be there. All right. So time for questions, and if they are in the chat, or I don't know, how do you do Q&A? People ask questions.
Yeah, I would be there to help you out. Don't worry about that.
Okay, sure.
Yes. So thank you so much. First of all, it was a quite interesting perspective what you brought to the table, especially around what is capability, what is mindset, being agile versus doing agile, and how the practices versus all the principles and the values of agile are still knitted, but how the decline is happening and where the decline is happening actually. Okay, so that was a quite impressive, I would say, the whole perspective you brought it to the table. Now, to come into the questions of the audience, so we have Shadul is asking us how AI is going to help in agile sprint planning and estimation. Since you have mentioned about AI also, that you have been doing some work around in the non-IT sector as well. Good to know. What's your thought on agile sprint planning and estimation?
Yeah, so I think there are tools that will help in sprint planning. I think you can have tools. You can use ChatGPT, you can use Infinity, you can use Cloud, or whatever tool you can use. You can actually, from the backlog, if you want to bring what should be in my sprint plan, that tool can help you. You don't have to do it manually. It can bring you the stories that, and you can provide the criteria, the completeness about the story. Is the story ready for, for the sprint? Like, most of you may know definition of done, right? But there is also definition of ready.
Correct.
You are. So I think if you can provide that criteria to the tool, and the tool can apply that criteria and bring it the stories that you want to do, it can help in estimation also based on the requirements. So it can even create stories. It can create a story. It can be very well used in grooming the backlog. It can split stories, larger stories, into smaller stories. And we have use cases, and we have done that part, which we cover in our 2-day training also. Like, we have them practice this, the product owner role, what I was talking about. So yeah, I think it is definitely very, very useful, and it will help in sprint planning and estimation.
Thank you. We have another one now from, of course, Latifa is asking something which is prospective, but how the new PMBOK edition, which is PMBOK 8, which is getting launched now, and what is the different perspective about agility it is speaking about? Any idea you have about it, or still yet to
So
get
I
discovered?
have not gone through that book.
Of course.
It has still to be released.
Correct.
It is not released. So I was able to, it came for me for providing the feedback and all those kind of things. So in that PMBOK, you will see all these things integrated. I'm not sure when the book was published, how much was the AI integrated into that, but Agile and where Agile is going, and how it is, how the hybrid is working and how hybrid is coming and all those kind of things, that you will find. And once again, in the PMBOK 7, you saw a shift from moving from that 49 processes, input, output, tools and techniques kind of thing that used to be there until to more like leadership and empower teams and teamwork and all those kind of things. So you will see the similar theme moving forward. I believe the last few months, if they have made some revisions using AI, that will be very helpful. But as I was saying, I have not gone through the final version. It probably will come out they have not given even a date when it will come out. But all of us will know more about it when it comes out.
No, sure. Thank you. I think what is a sneak peek, what I have is in the new PM BOK, they are talking about more about data-centric project management as one of the central theme. And of course, hybrid and agile are still the very much integral part. So they are not going anywhere.
Yep.
They will be continuing over there. That's for sure over there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for putting that
Yeah.
up.
And also, I think, I don't know if they have mentioned, if you are really interested, there's a, if many of you know, there's a CPM AI.
Correct. Yes.
So CPM AI is a methodology to manage AI projects.
Projects, yes.
So if you're interested, you can, I don't know how much that is mentioned in the PM BOK. I don't think it is mentioned in the PM BOK. But CPM AI is something that Project Management Institute has come up. And it's very interesting. And that is very data centric. That is very data centric because in CPM AI, one of the key steps before you do the development or identify the models that you're going to use, you actually need to look into your data. It's very data centric. So what Anchal you're saying is lines up with that.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, sir. I think how Ahmed is asking how to handle risks in Agile.
Okay.
So that is a very common question. We have been answering this since ages now.
Yeah. I think that's a very common question.
Very common question.
Yeah. So risk, the Agile mindset, Agile principles and practices itself lent to manage risks. Okay. So the risk comes from mainly from 2 or 3 factors in projects if you have been managing project. One is the risk of scope creep. It happens in the project. How do you manage a scope creep in Agile is very simple principle of prioritizing your backlog, and when a new thing comes, evaluate it and see what priority it is. It goes into the backlog at that appropriate places. And then the Agile teams don't promise that they will deliver everything. That's very important. It's very important. Agile teams promise that they will deliver as much as they can from the top of the backlog based on customer priority. So let's say a team delivers 80% of the scope, for example, okay? They did not deliver that 20%, okay? So, but those 20% they did not deliver is mostly bells and whistles because they are low value, and then it gives you more, it gives the sponsors and stakeholders more control that, okay, do they really want that 20%? If they want, then they can provide resources, time and all that. But if they don't need it, they don't have to provide. Whereas in waterfall, because everything is delivered at the end, there is no choice. You got to do that. So that's why they run late and all those kind of. So this is beautiful how the risks are managed for scope. For timeline is another thing. The projects are delayed mainly because of scope creep or because the team changes or because of whatever other reasons. So Agile manages that very well because they do 3-month planning and then 1-month plan. They do like total project planning and then 3-month planning and then 2 weeks planning. So with that, they can basically keep everybody informed that this is what is going to happen. This is what, so a good Scrum Master or an Agile coach will extrapolate that to tell or communicate that, should be able to manage that schedule risk, and cost overrun normally doesn't happen because you have fixed cost and fixed time in Agile. The scope is variable. So one of my videos is about what's the key difference in waterfall and Agile. So I think the agile mindset or agile principles manage risks very, very well.
And beautifully put it out there, sir. I think I will take one more question because the time limits now. But let me just choose which one is much more elaborative one. So, okay, interesting one. So it's more about, we're not talking about people part. So let's take this question. It's coming from Mr. Ram Singh, and he's interestingly asking about Gen Z. So his idea and his comment is about Gen Zs are not ready to adopt agile principles due to the lack of accountability, discipline, and team collaboration. Even though now they have experience of 3 to 5 years, possibly now, for example. How do you handle that?
So I think, first of all, I don't agree that Gen Zs are not committed. They are much more committed than the previous generations. It's the way they work. So I think anybody who is trying to work with the teams, they need to understand what is important for them. What is important for them, and they may switch organization if you're thinking about commitment and then what you called as commitment and then staying in one organization, loyalty, what you used to call. So that particular part has gone, not because of people, because of organizations too, because organizations are not able to provide what they are looking for, the growth, the opportunities, the things like that. So I will say that Gen Z is very intelligent. They are very intelligent people. They know what they want. So if a if a manager in an organization, so managers have to, first of all, they don't need to be manager anymore. They have to be leaders. So that's very important. Understand the why, what I talked in the beginning, agile mindset, why. So why this person should stick to your project for a longer time, why he should deliver or why he should commit, what is in it for him or her. You need to understand that. And I think the Gen Z people are really very good, very smart, very intelligent. And they can give you at least twice the productivity that you may be looking for. But you need to sit down as a leader, talk to them, have them understand why we are doing this project, what we are going to do, and how that relates to those people. So I think that's a leadership aspect. If you put your manager hat on that, you are going to be unsuccessful. But if you put your leadership hat, you will be successful.
Perfect. Greatly said. I think that was, I think, the very good message to end up the Q&A for us. But thank you so much, sir. I think a lot of information is new and a lot of information is very refined, whatever you've shared with us. I would like to really give a big thank to you, and we are grateful to you to be the part of the moderation. And of course, we have been doing this series, but we have been doing the sessions with different type of experts. So I think after a long time, we are bringing agile experts. So thank you so much for being the part of it. And I'm happy to moderate your session around there. Before we say goodbye to everybody, I think one important thing I want to say is that the great questions, I really love the questions what audience has asked. And of course, your participation in the quiz has been really helpful around that as well. So with that in mind, I think we are going to bring the curtains back to this. And then with the closing acknowledgements, I would like to say a big thanks to rest of the teams, membership outreach, volunteering team, finance and marketing team, who bring the great work behind the community of PMI here to bring this kind of webinars to all of us. And remember, leadership isn't about executing the task. It's about inspiring the people, navigating complexity, and leaving the legacy with an impact. Now, agile is a capability and agile is a mindset. That's not just still died, still very much alive. So with that in mind, thank you so much. From my side, this is Anchal here and Amir and Joyce saying good night to you and have a lovely time ahead. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk to your team members. It has been great. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Take care.